NFTs have been taking the art and collectibles world by storm with billions of dollars in sales. Now more than ever, people want to hop in on this craze.
Yeah, joining us now to break it all down is NFT expert and founder of Hungry Wolves NFT, Adam Hollander. Adam, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Tanya and I are both very, very new to this world, and we don't get it. You have to help us figure this out. So explain to our viewers what they are.
So imagine that you walk into a museum and you see a beautiful painting up on the wall. Now, you could take a picture of it with your phone, or you could go to the gift shop and you could buy a print of it, but neither would be worth very much. The reason that the painting on the wall is worth what it is because it's the original and you can prove that it's the original. Now, with digital assets, whether that be a picture or a photograph or a music file or a video, it's traditionally been very hard to do this because when you copy a digital asset, the copy is indiscernible from the original. And when they get sent around the internet, thousands, millions of times, no one really can prove that they're holding the original authentic asset. That's made it very difficult to value digital assets like the ones that I just listed off, up until now. With NFTs, you can infallibly prove ownership of a digital asset that is tracked on the blockchain. That means that when an artist or a company or anyone creates an NFT and then sells it to someone, the buyer can forever know that they are holding the authentic asset. And that has implications for a variety of different markets.
Okay, but why would I care if I can get a copy that looks just as good and nobody can tell the difference? Why would I pay millions, maybe even billions for this thing when I can get it for free?
Well, I'm sure the Louvre would make an argument that the photo that you take of the Mona Lisa is probably not nearly as valuable as the one that's up on the wall. But
sure.
What I would say to you is this. A lot of these NFT projects are becoming a lot more than just the asset itself. And so take Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is a community that I'm personally part of. When you buy your Bored Ape, it's not just about buying a digital picture of a cartoon monkey. It's essentially a membership card or a key into a very exclusive community. And so there are a lot of very notable people that own Bored Apes. Jimmy Fallon owns one, Snoop Dogg, Tom Brady, Steph Curry, I could go on and on. And they're part of this very exclusive, very limited community because there are only 10,000 Bored Apes. And because they are tracked that way on the blockchain, there will only ever be 10,000 of them. And if you want access to network with this community, if you want access to the digital and physical benefits that come from being part of that community, then you need to hold one of the NFTs.
Okay, that kind of answers my next question, but because I was going to say, so what do you do with it once you bought it? I mean, I know it's like artwork and it appreciates, right? But or is there anything else physically you can do with it?
Well, let me give you a few examples. So Bored Ape Yacht Club, which I just mentioned, held a giant event just last month in New York called Ape Fest, where they rented out a huge party yacht where thousands of people congregated. They rented out a large club where The Strokes headlined and Chris Rock emceed and did a set. Wow. And the only way to get into this event was if you held one of the NFTs. Other projects, like the one that I just founded, Hungry Wolves, have game elements behind them. And so with our project, if you purchase one of the NFTs, it essentially becomes your game piece inside of our ecosystem. And you can hunt and eat virtual sheep. You can earn rewards and you can upgrade your NFT. You can challenge other players. You can join wolf packs, which essentially are like guilds or clans from other games that you might be familiar with. And it's a way that instead of just buying the asset, it really is more, again, about being part of a community. And in this case, participating in a game that can yield very tangible rewards for you.
All right, so with all this exclusivity, it's not a situation where the average person can kind of jump on board and get to be a part of an NFT.
Oh, no, you definitely can.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, explain that one then.
So look, some of the projects that I mentioned, like Bored Ape Yacht Club, are very exclusive. And because of that, it costs a lot of money to enter into that particular NFT project. But Hungry Wolves, for example, the one that I just launched, you can buy a Hungry Wolf today for 0.06 Ethereum, which is about $200. And so I'm not saying $200 isn't a lot of money to a lot of people, but it's accessible to someone that really believes in the project and really believes believes in what they're making an investment into. If you were to go to OpenSea.io, which essentially acts as the eBay of NFTs currently, it's about 400,000 monthly active users on that site. You can engage with tens of thousands of different NFT projects, some as little as $10, $15, $50 to get involved in that particular project. And you can research them there. And then most of these NFT projects have Twitter and Discord communities where you can talk with other holders and really learn about what are the benefits of entering into that community by buying your NFT, which again, essentially acts as your membership card.
Now, can you explain to me, because NFT is different than Bitcoin, where there is not a dollar for dollar trade back for that, correct? Like once you purchase it, you can't get cash by selling it later. Is that correct?
You absolutely can sell it later,
okay.
and that's really what OpenSea is. And so OpenSea, like I said, is the eBay of the NFT market, at least currently. And you can go there and you can buy NFTs and then you can immediately resell them. And there are numbers of people that are making tremendous amounts of money, essentially day trading on these NFTs, which is part of what you tend to hear about. Now, the NFTs themselves are tracked on the blockchain, just like Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other crypto currency that you might hear about, but they are not a currency in and of themselves. They are a token on those networks that's tracked in terms of ownership, but it's not like you can just go to an exchange and any one NFT is the same as any other, just like one Bitcoin is the same if I hold it or if you hold it. NFTs are unique in the sense that they have unique attributes and artwork associated with them. And as a result, it's much more like investing into an NFT than it is like holding a cryptocurrency.
So fascinating.
It is, because I still am
I
like
have much
baffled by
better
the whole
grasp
thing.
of it
I have the
now,
better
yes.
grasp, but it basically is based on someone's opinion, isn't it?
Well, so some NFTs that you buy, it's based on speculative value. Some people will invest in them thinking that the thing that I buy today might be worth more tomorrow because of supply and demand and popularity and any number of other factors. But the space itself is really growing and evolving. And now people that are buying NFTs really do expect that there are benefits that are associated with it, whether that be membership into a community, whether that be access to events, digital or physical, whether it be access to game mechanics like my Hungry Wolves project. And it will continue to evolve as time goes on. Coinbase, which is one of the largest exchanges to buy cryptocurrency, they have 68 million monthly active users compared to OpenSea's 400,000. And they are launching their own NFT marketplace imminently. And so anybody that's into NFTs right now is at the very, very earliest stages of this, especially as we move inevitably towards a digital metaverse where people are going to play and interact and learn and conduct commerce with each other in a digital landscape. And NFTs are becoming a very important set of building blocks for what that metaverse will eventually be.
All right, Adam, we'll have to have you back to
Yes.
explain it as this thing evolves. Thank you for joining
Thanks,
us this
Adam.
morning, though.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right.